Hi guys, welcome back to my TEFL experiences. This is another episode. I think this is episode 7. You should see when you log or when you click on the button. But welcome back for another episode nonetheless. This episode, if you're listening, will be on YouTube. Okay. Um, just so you know, the other episodes they also might be on YouTube in the future, but this one definitely will. Just the other ones I was preparing while also trying to prepare other lessons and other videos. So it's a little hectic, but you will get this one. Will try to make this one as raw as possible, meaning I don't the editing that I do is very time consuming. I'm an overthinker by nature, so the editing is time consuming. So I'm gonna try to keep this as one take and I'm done. One take and I'm done. So, anywho, let's go ahead and get started with today's topics. Today, I mentioned last week that we are going to have another segment of your TEFL experiences. I'm going to try to make those segments instead of like full episodes. And also, we are going to talk about TEFL certificates. Is it better to have, or what's the best TEFL certificate to get? So stick around for that. So yeah, I think we're going to talk about that one first and then end it with some of your TEFL experiences. But first, we're going to have a bit of an update. Fridays is always the busiest day for me because most of the time I would love to have recorded my podcast sooner, but most of the time I record the podcast on Friday and also upload it on Friday. Now, with that being said, I would really like to apologize because I just listened yesterday. I don't usually like to listen to my voice. So sometimes I don't listen to the podcast. I just record, and then after adding like the ads and everything, I just send it out. But yesterday I listened back to the podcast because I could not quite remember what we were supposed to talk about today. And it played the first 5 minutes again. I would like to apologize. The only reason I have, or the only thing that I could think of that would cause something like that to happen is I was breaking it up so I could so the ads could play. So ads can play. And because every time you listen to an ad, I get like a penny. So, just trying to get a little bit of the revenue, trying to see if I can break it up into the segment so I can place the ads throughout. But I guess it repeated a section because I heard after like 5 minutes, I heard a break in it and then it replayed. But anyway, I am sorry and I will not do that anymore. I will just record and send it out and we'll just have the one ad at the beginning. So I think that's better for the listener anyway, but maybe not because maybe you don't want to hear me ramble on and on. And also, I am going to try to make this 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes, no longer than 20 minutes. Like once it's at 20 minutes, I'm just going to have to stop. Just simply because I would really like to take a quick nap before my next class.
I'm hopeful, yes I am hopeful for today. Take this music and use it, let it take you away and be hopeful and human.
And the next class is a Palfish class. It's the Palfish class with the older lady. And if anyone is interested in the update for her, our last class is actually today. So the lesson package ends today with the minutes she bought. She bought 1,800 minutes to take a lesson with me, and it was like really cheap. Like I get an average of like 20 Chinese RMB, Chinese yuan. I'm not RMB. I get like 20 of those per class, and we do that every week. So it's not very profitable for me. but I'm not doing anything else at that time during that hour. So she asked me, so I kind of brought it up in our last class, and she was like, "Well, yeah, I noticed that our minutes will be ending." And then we were just talking, saying she was saying sweet things about me, and I was saying sweet things about her. And long story short, she would like me to reopen the lesson. So I told her I would think about it, and she understands like if I don't. But I have not reopened the lesson yet. I'm thinking about doing it on a class by class basis instead of just doing the whole lesson. So we shall see. We shall see how that goes. But anyway, without further ado, especially for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, let's get right into which TEFL certificates is the best. Well, this is definitely going to be the short answer. But my short answer is it depends on what you're doing in your TEFL career. And what I mean by that is if you're doing something like um, you want to teach on Cambly to earn a few more bucks for gas or groceries or whatever you want to do, then I would just say go to Groupon. Go to Groupon, any of those things, or if you just want to make your your Cambly application, you don't need it. You don't need it for your Cambly application. But if you just want it to stand out just a tad bit more, just go to Groupon and get the cheapest one you see there. I know a while back the cheapest one was $5. I think when I looked last time that it went up. I don't think that was the cheapest one. I know there's a friend of mine and she promotes one that's like $19. $19. The one I chose was also from Groupon, and it was. I'm sorry for the bad posture, YouTube. Why did I search Groupon on Groupon? That's not what I'm trying to do. All right, so I see one for $25. Oh, $10. $4. Now, see, I wouldn't trust that because it says teaching English online course. All the other ones, it says like an online TESOL course, TESOL. And the $10 one, it says learn TEFL. So, and then it even says 150, or the $10 one is a 50-hour TEFL grammar course. I wouldn't trust that one. I wouldn't trust that one. I want something. I'm already on Groupon, so I personally am very skeptical of the certifications that they can offer me or the education they can offer me. So I would go with something that says like 150-hour TEFL certification. That sounds a bit more official, a bit more professional. But again, look at the ratings and maybe you can get by with the $4 one. And then I just think the more hours, the better on the TEFL certificates. Mine was 150 or 160. Let me see. I believe it was 160. I'll try to see if I can put a snapshot on YouTube. But yes, I would just go with that if that's something you're doing for Cambly. Now, if you want to say, I don't know, go to Korea and you want to teach English there, then yeah, I mean, you can get by with the TEFL. It would give you some information or some form of education. But for actually teaching in person, I would want to get more, I wouldn't say more professional, but a more detailed, a more thorough education in teaching English. I would just feel better about that. This is strictly my opinion. Now, if you want me to rate like the TEFL course that I actually took, then I would love to do that on YouTube one day. So just let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know and the reviews that you leave on the podcast. I'll be sure to do that. So yeah, if you want to do something like that, I know for me there is a course. I believe it's called UC. Let me look it up. UCI Ielliot. I know I'm following them on Instagram. Let me try to follow them, or find them. There is this company that can really help you to get a bachelor's degree or certificate that is equivalent to a bachelor's degree, but it doesn't take as much time to do so. So let me see if I can find these ones. Is this it? Yes, UCILACS. So that's the initials for it. Again, why am I adding more work by telling you that I'm going to put screenshots on YouTube? Why am I doing that to myself? Well, anywho, you will get the audio version of this podcast before you get the YouTube version. So UCILACS. You can find them on Instagram, and they also have a website. So it stands for United States Institute of Language and Clerical Studies. So yeah, they were recommended to me, but the thing is, you do have to pay. But if that's what, if you're trying to make teaching English as a foreign language more of a career, then that's what I would recommend. Actually getting a thorough degree, and they offer degrees in different types, like a TEFL or a TESOL. But yeah, I think I've kind of went off the rails with this one, because I'm not trying to tell you which company I think is best, but more so which certificate I think is best. And honestly, I think when I first started, I thought the TEFL certificate was best, because it says teaching English to foreign learners. So anybody that's foreign to English, it could be their third language or anything, you can teach it to them. So that at the time was what I thought was best. But now, even on Reddit, someone told me about other certificates. I want to see the TESOL. It says, in short, TEFL programs are best if you want to teach English abroad in a country where the primary language is not English. And that is what I wanted to do. And this is according to a website. I'm just reading. And it also says TESOL programs are better if you want to teach English to learners in an English-speaking country. So where do you want to teach English? Again, it just depends. It depends on what your goal is with teaching English. If you're just trying to make a few bucks, then spend a few bucks on a certification. But if you're trying to make this a real career, you want to make this about studying and going abroad, then I would recommend getting a more thorough education, like with the company I mentioned earlier. And maybe not. I know for me, that would have to be the route that I would take. Since I don't have a college degree, I would want to at least have that equivalent on my resume, trying to study abroad. But if you already have a college degree, then maybe all you need is a TESOL. That's another thing. So again, it depends. I think we're going to have to talk about this a little bit more next week. I think we're going to have part 2. I'm sorry, you guys. But yeah, we're going to have a part 2, because we are already at the 14-minute mark. Maybe I should sing on this podcast one day. What do you think? Comment. Let me know. Okay, so now let's get into your TEFL experiences. Now, this is the Reddit user Mike B. And Mike B, if you're listening, I just want to thank you for just sharing your experiences, because when I first started this TEFL experiences, he was the first member, so I really do appreciate that. So, and he even asked, like, if this is just like a way to vent, or is this just nice experiences, or terrible ones, or just to learn from other experiences. I just would love to hear them all. Would love to hear them all. And the reason why I would love to hear others' experiences is because you can learn so much from other people and the routes they take, and just to learn from their mistakes, or even might find another opportunity that you did not know anything about. So it could also be another fun way to maybe expand your network also. So that is just some of the reasons why I started this segment. So let's see what some of his experiences are. He says he listened to the podcast and enjoyed hearing about how I got started. And he got into ESL a bit over 25 years ago because he wanted to travel. Since then, he's worked in Guatemala, Mexico, South Korea, and Saudi Arabia. So he can say that he's achieved his goal. I want to work in South Korea. I would love to work in South Korea. Um, am I a Korea boo? I don't know if I'm a Korea boo. I don't know if I would go that far, but I would love to teach in Korea. Anywho, I studied a BA in linguistics back then, and after that, I did a Cambridge TEFLA. And both of them have served as a ticket into many of the jobs I've done. See, you can learn from others. So he has a bachelor's degree in linguistics. I hope I'm saying that right. And just so you know, oh, you're an English teacher, you should know this. How would you say this? I know. But if there's ever a word that I don't know quite the pronunciation of, then I will look it up and be sure. But anyway, back then and after that, I did a Cambridge CTEFLA. Yeah, we're going to have to talk about that some more next week. And both of them have served as a ticket into many of the jobs I've done. I agree, you pick up lots of the same information through experience. In fact, much of what I learned didn't really sink in until I saw in action later while teaching. However, it opened a lot of doors for me. Just to pause right there, that was the same for me. I've been a volunteer teacher and a public speaker since while growing up. Like when I was in school, I started doing that. So yeah, and a lot of the things that I was taught throughout that process, I came across again during my TEFL certification, and I didn't really learn that. It was things that I had already learned and already knew. So I was thankful for that. And to be honest, some of the stuff that I learned from my TEFL certification, I really don't quite remember. But let's talk more about that later. However, it opened a lot of doors for me, especially for jobs in other countries, not online. Yeah, I figure you would have to have a bit more, a better certificate, or at least a bachelor's, if you want to have a job teaching English not online. If you can afford it, try looking at some online undergrad degrees, but from real universities. Not all countries accept online degrees, but I guess since COVID, people will be more accepting of online qualifications. My other degree tip is that in New Zealand and Australia, a BA is a 3-year degree, and the exchange rate is lower compared to US dollars. So even for overseas students, it might be more affordable. I did my BA in Australia full-time on campus, and many years later, an MA online from a New Zealand university. Both courses were great. A master's online. So yeah, I really appreciate your experiences. We are almost at the 20-minute mark because, as you can tell, I talk quite a bit. So anyway, I hope I can get to take my nap. I want to try to do as less plugs as possible from now on, but you know where you can find me. Please help me get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I want to be monetized so badly. So help me with that. And of course, you can find me wherever you see your podcast. Next week, we are going to do a part 2 with the TEFL certifications. and dig a little bit more into what Mike B has shared here today. So thank you so much. I hope you all don't mind the new mic, but I will talk to you all later. Thank you.